Eastern Carolina barbecue. Picture the whole pig, snout to tail, going onto the smoker at once. No cherry picking the good cuts here. Everybody's invited to the party. Once it's fall-apart tender, the meat gets chopped or pulled and tossed together, skin included, then doused in a vinegar and pepper sauce so thin it practically qualifies as a hot sauce with an identity crisis. Not a drop of tomato anywhere near it. This whole approach goes back to North Carolina's earliest colonial days, when pigs were cheap to raise and cooking one whole was basically the original potluck move, feeding a crowd with zero waste. That sharp, punchy vinegar sauce isn't just for flavor. It's there to slice through all that rich, fatty pork and keep every bite from feeling heavy, which is honestly the entire secret behind why this style has stuck around for centuries. Lexington-style barbecue. Head west across North Carolina and the whole hog gets ditched in favor of just the pork shoulder. Lexington folks decided one cut deserved all the glory. The sauce gets a splash of ketchup mixed into that vinegar base, turning it a little sweeter and giving the meat a subtle pink blush. Locals don't even call it sauce, they call it dip, like it's some secret family handshake. And if you ever want to start a friendly argument in North Carolina, just ask someone which style came first, Eastern or Western. Grab some popcorn, because that debate has been simmering for generations and shows zero signs of cooling off. Memphis barbecue. Ribs are the main event here, and they come in two rival camps, wet or dry. Wet ribs get slathered in a sticky tomato-based sauce that keeps getting basted on, layer after layer, until they're practically glazed. Dry ribs skip the sauce entirely and let a bold spice rub do all the talking. Crispy, punchy, no apologies. Memphis also throws pulled pork sandwiches into the mix, piling coleslaw straight onto the bun, because why dirty an extra plate? Sitting right along the Mississippi River turned this city into a melting pot of trade and culture for centuries, and that mashup energy is baked right into its barbecue. Kansas City barbecue. If barbecue styles had a Does It All award, Kansas City would win hands down. Ribs, brisket, sausage, pulled pork, nothing gets left off the menu. And almost everything gets a generous brush of thick, sweet, molasses-larded tomato sauce that practically defines what most Americans picture when they hear the word barbecue. This city was once a meat-packing powerhouse in the early 1900s, so pitmasters had every cut imaginable at their fingertips and just went for it, mixing and experimenting until a whole new barbecue identity was born. Texas barbecue. Beef is king here, full stop, and brisket sits on the throne. Head to Central Texas, especially around Austin, and you'll find purists who keep it stripped down to salt, pepper, and smoke. No sauce allowed to steal the spotlight from a perfectly smoked brisket. East Texas swings the other direction, with sweeter, saucier flavors that lean closer to Deep South barbecue. Then South Texas throws barbacoa into the ring, slow-cooking meat, sometimes literally underground, until it's tender enough to shred with your bare hands. German and Czech immigrants who settled in Central Texas brought their meat market traditions along for the ride, and that legacy still shapes how brisket gets smoked and sold today. Alabama barbecue. Get ready for a plot twist. White sauce. Yes, white. This mayonnaise-based concoction with vinegar and black pepper gets brushed over smoked chicken, and it looks nothing like any barbecue sauce you've probably seen before. Tangy, creamy, and a little rebellious against the tomato sauce norm, it somehow works perfectly with smoky chicken. The whole thing traces back to a single restaurant in Decatur, Alabama, back in the 1920s. One bold idea that turned into a statewide obsession. St. Louis barbecue. Pork spare ribs get trimmed down into a neat rectangle here, earning the name St. Louis style and giving cooks a cleaner shape that cooks more evenly. They're brushed with a sweet tomato sauce, a cousin of Kansas City's, but a touch thinner. And if you're feeling adventurous, the city's menus sometimes feature snoot. Yes, crispy pig snout, a nose-to-tail tradition passed down from generations who wasted absolutely nothing. Santa Maria barbecue. California crashes the barbecue party with tri-tip, a cut that used to be so overlooked it was practically thrown away until local ranchers started grilling it over red oak wood and changed everything. No slow smoking here, just salt, pepper, garlic, and an open flame doing quick, direct work. It's typically served with pinquito beans, a bean variety so regional it barely grows anywhere else, giving this whole style a flavor you genuinely can't find anywhere outside Central California.